So what we'll do now is just try and expand a little bit on some of these symmetry properties. And what we're looking at now are complementary relationships. Just comparing the values of sine theta with cos theta. Now, when we're talking about complementary relationships, we think of complementary angles are angles that add up to 90 degrees. You may have seen already that with our work on exact values, that sine of pi on 6 or sine of 30 degrees is the same as cos of pi on 3 or cos of 60 degrees. They are the same. That's because they're complementary relationships. Okay, and this diagram here sort of helps to highlight that. If we've got our angle theta at this point here, and we look at cos, we have this value here, or sine rather, okay? This y coordinate, or this distance to that point there, is the same as pi on 2 minus theta, this distance here. So sine of theta, okay, is the same as cos of pi on 2 minus theta, and vice versa. Cos of pi on 2 minus theta is the same as sine of theta. Okay, and that's what's summarized in this point here. Okay, these are equal. If we have a look on the next diagram and we go past our pi on 2 or 90 degrees, then we see that sine of pi on 2 plus theta is the same value as cos of theta, but sine of theta, okay, so if we were to run this across here, okay, sine of theta being the y coordinate would be the same as the negative value of cos of pi on 2 plus theta. Okay, so they just have opposite values, one's positive, one's negative. And you could just compare that. It's worthwhile just to try and get a bit of an understanding by comparing some of these values. Okay, sine of 30 with cos of 60, cos 20 and sine 110, and cos 110 and sine 20, just to compare those values and see. Okay, so what we'll do now is just have a look at this example that we've got. Okay, let's have a look. We're told here that sine of theta is 0.3 and cos of phi, is the Greek letter, is equal to 0.8. What would then be sine of pi on 2 minus phi? Now we've already seen that pi on 2 minus the angle is equivalent. So in this case, sine pi on 2 minus phi would be equal to cos phi. So they would be the same. So that's 0.8. Okay. Let's just draw a little sketch. Well, that's a little bit off. Okay. If this is our angle phi there, then cos of phi would be that x coordinate. Sine of pi on 2 minus phi, so that's those angles are the same there and there. That value for sine is the same as that value for cos. However, in this one here, pi on 2 plus theta, okay, so that's theta, then that would be pi on 2 plus theta. Okay, so the pi on 2 to there plus that angle theta there. Okay, cos is negative compared with the sine, which is positive. So they would be opposites. So that's going to be negative 0.3. So that's just to see another symmetry relationship to do with what's called the complementary relationships.